streaming now. All right, welcome everybody. As I was saying, we won't have Daniel on the call. Warhana is in the villages, so her network, I believe, is not real strong. And unfortunately, the Presidio is ill with what we think is a foodborne illness, and hopefully she'll be recovering soon, but she is down for the count right now. Let's see. So I don't have an agenda personally. Ben, do you have an agenda? But no, for honestly, is what we'll do is we'll just kind of go around, talk about some of the stuff that we've been doing, and then we'll go from there. So Salam, why don't you fill us in on the latest and greatest on what you've been working on, and we'll all start there. Does that sound okay? Well, you might be muted.
Yes, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so we already debriefed about the land last week.
Yes.
And we are now proceeding to sealing the deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
We are going to have they sent us the allocation letter, we reviewed it, we gave our preliminary comments, they have kept it back together, and I'm supposed to go for it next week. As an organization, we have also agreed that we would give $5,400. It's $5,390 to the community for those who have donated the land to us, just to make them even in case they need to go and prepare new lands to start their farming. And so to proceed with the drilling of the borehole as soon as possible. And I think that's where we are. And on the health hub itself, we had some new ideas that we discussed very extensively yesterday. And I'll leave that to Kevin.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, no, that's great update on the land,
Yeah.
and so I think that's great work, Salam, and definitely appreciate it. Just to finish up on the land, some things, correct me if I'm wrong, is that basically we'll get the letter of intent to allocate the land, then it'll go through a couple more chiefs, a couple more formalities, and then eventually there'll be a deed that's issued to the organization. And before that happens, we have to get a surveyor out there to actually get the geo coordinates for the map and then lay that out. But all of the water's been sited. We pretty much, that has been done. That's pretty much where that all stands. We can begin to cultivate it pretty much as we speak, if I'm not incorrect. So we're close to being able to actually start to work the land.
Yes, we can begin to work the land right now, even whilst we wait for the letter. As I think everyone saw, they have given us the letter already, except that we want them to make some few changes or corrections. And they also accepted those corrections in good faith. The son of the chief called, and then we discussed them, and I think he was okay with it. He's handling the documents, and he spoke about compensation, which we are already going to do, because I would say we thought about that before he brought it up.
Yeah.
So I think we are good to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Ben showed you the allocation letter to his plot when he bought it. Usually it comes as a recommended allocation because the community sub-chief does not have full custody because he's also under a paramount chief.
Right.
But usually the community sub-chief is the custodian, and so there is no cause for alarm, and there's no way he would issue a recommended allocation letter, and maybe the paramount chief will say no to it because that's his job to do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great, and I think that the process that we're going through, we worked a little bit with an architect to get some good ideas for the drawings, as Salam pointed out. The way that we're talking about laying out the health hub, we have a regulatory organization here called HeFRA, HeFRA. And that organization is going to be the one who gives us the certification for essentially being a health hub. And so being able to practice medicine in the field, in the building where we are. And so with those requirements, they have a lot, like, for example, around the need for a nurse's office in the building, the need for what they call a sluice room, which is a place to clean and dispose of materials, etc. They require a triage area, a treatment area, a recovery area, a delivery area, etc. So all is what we've been working on essentially is, as a group, Salam, myself, and Ben, really quite hard, is to figure out what those requirements are and what the most cost-effective way is to build the building, knowing that we have land in which we can grow material, and that material can be used structurally to help defer some of the costs. Because one of the major inputs into the project is the use of blocks, and even if they're cast on site, the result is a pretty heavy expense with regards to sand. And so as what we've done is we've moved from the idea of using the block initially that we initially planned to making essentially a form around structural pillars, and then pouring what we originally thought was going to be hempcrete into this form to form the wall, essentially a monolithic slab wall between the two pillars. We'll actually, after a lot of discussion, we realized that it was quite funny actually, because Salam had dinner and he was eating it and telling us a little bit about the plant that was in the dinner. And it turned out that kind of led us down a road of finding an exact clone, essentially, of hemp that grows here and has been cultivated in the past. And so that is called Kenrete, and Kenrete is this. It's actually, like, its biological name is hibiscus cannabis. And so this grows and has the exact same properties as hemp, both medicinal as well as for structural products for building houses and things. And so we will grow this product in place of the hemp, simply because, as Salam pointed out, the licensing for us to grow the hemp was going to easily exceed $4,000 US an acre. And so that's kind of crazy to think about. And so this is an alternative that essentially we have Salam trying to round up the seed, and as soon as he identifies the seed, we can begin to cultivate it. And the way that we do this is, so we had a pivot away from hemp and to this, we're calling it Kenrete, because Kenrete is just too hard for everybody to say for some reason. Yeah. and so we're just calling it Kenrete. And the idea is that this Kenrete is what you do is you take this plant, you grow it. It grows within 3 to 4 months. It grows about, I guess, 3 to 5 meters high. really quite tall.
Yeah.
And then we harvest it by cutting it as low to the root as we can. And then we dry it in the sun for a week or two, and then soak it in water. And basically the hemp, what you would make hemp rope out of, the rope portion, the fibrous portion, comes off of the stalk. And then this is what Ben had helped me figure out, is that he had said that when he was a young boy and went into the farm with his father to harvest, or the bush to harvest thatch, they would find this plant that made rope. Essentially, they made rope with. It was very strong, and so that kind of led me to believe that, wow, this could be a variety of cannabis that we could use without having to call it or have the specific strain defined as hemp. And so is what you do is you separate the fiber from what's called the hurd, which is the very center woody part of the plant, and then we can use the rope and sell it for cash crop, or give it to some people locally to turn into rope and then sell the rope ourselves. But the idea is to do this and get the hurd, which is the center woody part, and then we break that into like 1 by 1 inch chips, and then we mix that with lime and water, and there's a chemical reaction, and that essentially binds itself into a block that's really strong and has good insulative properties. And so we'll grow, we figured out yesterday, I believe, that we need to grow about 1.5 acres. Does that sound right, Ben?
Yeah.
Or 1 3/4 acres maybe. Salam might remember.
Yeah, we got all that wiped out.
Yeah, we wiped all that off the board, but we got about
1.75.
Okay. Yeah. So we basically have just over an acre, a bit over an acre to grow of the crop, and then we will produce enough for us to do a building that is made up of 14-meter runs by 4.7 meters wide. And this will give us essentially one of these buildings, which will be 14 meters by 4.7 meters, will give us 3 rooms that are 5.3 feet by 15.3 feet by 15.3 feet. So essentially we'll have really good sized rooms, and then we're going to do 2 of these buildings. One will be for treatment, recovery, and delivery, and then the other building that we do that's identical, using the exact same pattern, using the wall, using the Kenrete as well as the cement for structural integrity. We'll build another one, so it'll be an L-shaped building. The second portion will be what contains the pharmacy, the waiting room, the consultation area, the reception areas, the nurse's office, the sluice room, all of those requirements that HeFRA is going to make from us. And so we put a lot of effort into that over the last couple of days, trying to lay that out. Some of the building techniques are obviously new, and there'll be some experiment, but we're not afraid of trying new things. And even if we don't, if it isn't ideal on the finance side, if we learn something, it will have been worth it. And so we're hopeful that using this building technique we can use in the future and be able to help build more shelters as time goes on, but also be able to build our own health hubs. So how did I do on that, Ben?
Yeah.
Did I cover it?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. And how did I miss anything, Salam?
No, except that, as you may have noticed, I stayed awake the whole of last night.
I saw.
Yeah, and I was just doing some more research into it, and I found out that the lime powder is actually very expensive. And one of the reasons why people don't use the Kenrete type of buildings is because they are considered luxury buildings. Because we realize that 25 kg of lime is on average at Tema, Accra, where we can find good quantities, is an average of 380 cedis to 500 Ghana cedis per 25 kg of lime powder. And so when I did the mass from the link you produce, we will need 8,880 kilograms of lime powder. When you divide that by 25 kg, we are looking for 355 bags.
Yeah.
And so I went by the lowest figure possible, which is the 380, and that is minus, that is without transport.
Sure.
And we are talking of about 135,000 Ghana cedis.
135,000. So that's
For lime only?
Yeah,
Okay.
for lime only.
so. What is that in U.S.?
Divided by
11
11.
is 12,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 12,000.
12,000.
12,272.
Yes.
And then, and then the only other input is water. And so, did you do the same for? Did you do the calculations for cement and block?
Yes. So, and then we will need water and the head, like the head that will grow.
Yeah, and we grow that.
Now, yeah, and so I submitted the drawings you did to Gemini, and then I asked for the cost of building. No, let me. So with the block, you asked a question about the block.
Yeah.
So I asked a surveyor, and how many blocks will be used to put up the building, and he said approximately 3,000 blocks. And then I asked Ben, who also said he was also producing 3,000 blocks for his building, which is a 3-bedroom self-contained house. And then we took an average price of 15 Ghana cedis per block from Tamale, multiplied by 3,000, and we are getting 45,000 Ghana cedis.
And divide that by 11, and we get 4,090.
Yeah. So that's 4,090. And so with this, we wouldn't need water again because the blocks will already be made.
But you'll need mortar and cement.
And cement, yes.
And a lot bigger footings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is just additional information.
Yeah, that's great information. So if you could, if you want to summarize all of that, including the footing and the mortar differences, I don't know about the labor differences because of the slip and the ability to pour it that way. I don't know if it would be less labor or more labor or the same. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think it will be more labor on ground because if we are using blocks, blocks already come molded. But then building the slips to pour it, the builders have to do that from every step.
Right.
Which I think will require more labor. It's like they are constructing each block one by one, but putting it all together in the building. So
Yeah, but they only have to affix the boards to sandwich it.
Yeah.
That's all. They don't have to do one block. So it'd be a whole. I mean, it would be at least 2.8 meters at a time.
Yeah.
They're basically forming a 2.8 meter by 20 centimeter block.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what about making the blocks on the site, as we had talked about, to provide some labor for the village, as opposed to just buying them?
That's a good option.
Yeah, so making the blocks on the site would actually bring the cost of blocks down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those who mold and sell, they add a margin for profit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that will bring the cost down because we will be supervising that ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely want to see that comparison of those numbers so that we can make a decision uh, going forward as to what we want to do for sure. That's good. That's good
Yeah.
that you found it. And is the only reliable lime source in Accra?
Yeah, so in Tamale, they are selling a bag. There's a company in Tamale around UDS, around the university area, that I found out that they sell a bag for 450 Ghana cedis.
Mm-hmm.
And that was too high.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that if we are buying the lime and we buy from Accra and we transport it, we'll still be able to save some money than buying from Tamale.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing that you don't get, unfortunately, with the cement is any insulated properties. Because
The
because the pore of the Kenrete is insulative. You know, you get an insulative R20 or whatever the number is value out of the wall, so it will be significantly cooler. But the question is that worth it or whatever? So we'll have to evaluate that.
yeah,
And
because
so I guess include if you could I guess probably just do like a side by side comparison.
yeah, so what I intend to do is to do a side by side comparison on a document and just share.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And
Thank
then I
you.
think the other thing is that you'll have to include the cost of this. I mean, the cost to grow the Kenneth, but then the yield, the income that we would get from the rope, and the changes in the footer.
Yeah, so one thing I also found out is that, and maybe Ben can tell me, people don't rely on the Kenneth rope anymore. And I can't remember the last time I saw it. I don't know of Ben,
Yeah.
but the reason is that China has infiltrated the market with nylon,
Mm-hmm.
which is more stronger than the Kenneth rope.
Mm.
And the Kenneth rope was more ideal for like tying animals, like the cows, goats, because when they make the rope is more softer on their necks.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, now most people do not even tie their because people are now doing a head or what do you call it? Garchi yuri.
Um, just
Free,
like a farm
free rein.
where they keep
Oh, like a
the
pet.
animals inside. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I don't know what, maybe this is a question for Warahana because she knows the textile side. If there's any demand for textiles, clothing and that kind of stuff, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the rope was mostly used as a local improvisation. Like you are in the village, you need rope. You don't want to, or you just want to save costs. So people that were making use of these ropes were people even producing them themselves. In the case of my dad, he used to produce ropes from that, but not for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were ropes we're basically using to tie things in the house, just like animals.
Mm-hmm.
We used to tie animals to the bush for grazing
Right.
every day. So such ropes were used. Yeah, though I still see a few of those ropes used, but I think in Tamale here we might not even. They are used in villages. I've seen that from the villages I was once teaching in, that people still use those ropes. And one thing about those ropes as well is I think over time they're able to lose their strength a bit. I don't know. Depending on how it is used, it's able to lose its strength a bit. So people now just prefer nylons, as Salam said, because they think that it's stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see a lot of we could sell it, but I don't see a lot of demand for it at this current.
Yeah, I
current
was just thinking at most it would probably offset the seed, but I don't have any idea.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the demand is. I know that, you know, it's unfortunate because the nylon and the block produce tons of carbon emissions. So this will be something for Warahana as well, is that to look at, is that if we're looking at more of a carbon neutral build solution, because that helps us get grants, then so be it. Maybe that's the direction that we go. If it's not that we're going after those types of grants, I'd still prefer to do it. But if it's 3 times more, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And so I think the key is to continue to do the research, Salam, as I think you have all that you need now to figure out how much everything is going to cost, and then we'll put it to the group and present it to the CEO, and she can make a decision when she's feeling better in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think lime is expensive here because the cement factories, in a way, also use lime in producing cement.
I'm sure.
So it's kind of like something hard to come by if you need raw lime for any purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Luke, what are your thoughts? Any on what you heard about the farming cultivation pivot and the potential using for Kenrete and the cost difference between using standard block building versus a new alternative measure?
Yeah, I think it sounds good. Maybe it's just that I'm unfamiliar with it, but it's like there's a lot of, it might be a little complicated to make you able to build things out of it.
Yeah,
Like
so what we would do is we wouldn't do we're not talking about doing like structural hemp walls or Kenrete walls. Like, we're talking about literally building a structurally sound building out of cement and rebar. And then just like they go in and fill with blocks in between these 2.8 meter pillars of strength, we would essentially slap boards on the sides of those 2 pillars and then do a pour essentially of the Kenrete into there, tamping it lightly, and basically you move the slab, the slip up, and you do it again over and over until the wall is the height that you want, which in our case would be 10 feet.
I see.
Yeah, so the building technique, while it's different and hasn't been done, it's not difficult by any means, in my opinion. It's just different, and so we wouldn't be relying on it for structural integrity. Only insulative properties, a more carbon neutral solution, and something that we could grow. And as I've said this to you, you understand what this means. I explained it to the guys yesterday, is eating our own dog food. Like, if we're going to promote the use of Kenrete that we're going to grow, or which would have been hemp products, then we should be using them. So that was kind of what we were thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's worth a shot. You said about 4,000 in total.
4,000 in total to do the block, and the Kenrete was 14,000, so well over, a third more. So
wait,
that's the
so
problem.
18 in total, or $4,000, or 14?
Sorry, 14,000 US, right, Salam?
12,000 US for the lime.
For the lime alone, is 12,000 US.
Yeah.
And then they had we don't have a figure for the head yet. So yeah, maybe Kevin might be right, 14,000 or 15,000. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just what I mean, because we would grow it on our property, so it's really just the seed cost, and hopefully the seed cost is, the herd shouldn't cost us anything other than the labor it takes to make it, or to chop it, and harvest it, and seed it. So that's why I'm thinking like maybe 14,000 versus, you didn't factor in the mortar and the footing sizes, right, Salam?
No, so with the Kenneth crates,
Yeah.
The footings and the pillars would have been done. So the same for the blocks. So I just left the pillars and the footings out.
Oh yeah, no,
But
you have to
but in
adjust
between,
the pillars would be the same, but the footing
yeah.
will be significantly smaller because the weight of the wall is less.
Okay.
And that's specified in the top where it talks about the build. It talks about the sizes of the footers and the differences. I think the footer was about almost half. Ben, are you looking it up? Or
Yeah.
would you? Yeah, Ben's gonna look it up. I think the footer was about half, 80 centimeters for the brick, and only 40, I think, for the Kenrete wall, with significantly less rebar.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's on that page.
Yeah, on the health hub.
It's on the Health Hub page. At the top button, one of the top buttons, I think, will explain to you the difference in those footings. But regardless, you're still talking. The blocks are 4,000, even with the mortar. I mean, you're going to be at 8 at the most. And so you're talking about almost, an $8,000 or $6,000 difference between doing it with the Kenrete or doing it with the block. That's what I hear right now.
Yeah.
It's probably going to work out to be about double.
Yeah.
But we won't learn how to grow it. We won't learn anything about the fiber, and we won't build any markets for the fiber in the future. We can clearly eat the municipal parts of the plant as well, but I don't know what's best. And it is better for the environment, but that, again, unless there's a grant specifically that's going to double what it is, give us those dollars to try it. I don't see spending double on it. Not in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which tab was that on, if you don't mind me asking?
Material spec.
On the material specs, Salam, at the top of that page.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, you can see the footer differences?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, sorry, Luke, to interrupt. I just wanted to be clear, and we're still obviously digesting it. So, do you have any thoughts or concerns about doing it or not?
I think it's worth a shot. I don't know. You don't know until you try.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see what the numbers that final in the comparison and what Salam thinks. I know the brick building is going to go up a lot faster because we don't have to worry about growing the bricks or growing the Kenrete. So, yeah. Okay. Great. And how about you, Elaina? What are your thoughts?
I agree. I think that it's worth a shot, but of course it is more expensive. So if we need to do the cheaper option, then that sounds good too.
Yeah,
I
mean, is what we're talking about is, let's just say, again, the way I like to do it is to put everything in terms of shots, vaccinations. So if you just say the difference is $7,000 and you divide that by 2.5, that's 3,500 hepatitis B vaccinations. So that's a lot of shots.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I think, that'd be hard. You'd be hard pressed for me to justify that. I don't know. I think the hepatitis B shots are probably more important than proving that the wall stands up. Like I've always said, we're not here to build walls. We're here to help people with medical and food and shelter. So something to think about for sure. But we'll look forward to Salam's more information and dropping it in Discord Health Hub. I think that's great. Thanks, Salam, for all the effort. Great. Let's see. Other things that we've been up to. Yeah, we have Ben's been cranking out on the media stuff. Ben, do you want to give us an update on where you are with projects and their compliance?
Yeah, so I've been working on the project's compliance from the task list, and so far we have image posts for all the 3 projects we did. Project 79, 80, and 81. All image posts have been sent out on social media, and even on our blog post also we have all the 3 events published. Yeah, so the next line of action we have regarding those projects are to have the videos out. And aside these 2, I've been able to put all the images we took during the events into their respective Google albums. So not just the pictures we upload on social media, we have a bank of pictures in case we want to make reference to an event in the future. Mm-hmm. We have a specific folder for each event we can just go into and look at. Then today, so I was working on getting all the purchase invoices and project descriptions into that same folder. I think the folder basically contains every information about all past projects, so that in the future, sharing just the album link with someone allows the person to have a full glance of what we did, how much we spent, and what we procured for the event. So that is what I've been looking at recently.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for that update, Ben. And I think that I just want to note that with Project 79, which was our big medical event, I know the President last night was pretty diligent about scanning all of the paper reports from the event so that we can then translate those into a spreadsheet and ultimately upload that information into Smiley for reporting regarding how many vaccinations we gave, how many hepatitis C cases were identified, malaria, whatever it might be, HIV, etc. So there is work continuing on gathering that information. It has not been completed yet, but when it is, I think Ben is going to leverage those numbers and write them into the Media House post, publication that we expect to get from that. Ben, do you have a deadline that you want to get that Media House published to, or is it just as soon as possible, or will they publish a story from a month ago?
I think they'll publish a story, but it's best we get it ready as soon as possible, so that there's the gap between the story and the time of post or the date of post isn't too much.
Too much, yeah. Okay.
So as soon as possible, if we could get it ready, then we send it out. Okay,
and I'm going to take the action item because I don't want to carry all of those papers with me back on the plane. To get them all scanned into and into PDF files. So I'll continue to work with the President on finishing that up, and hopefully we'll have that to you by tonight because we leave tomorrow for Accra around, I don't even know,
5 p.m.
5 p.m. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. So we'll get that to you then, and then we'll have that Media House post, and the Media House post will feed in to the published Wikipedia, which is, everyone on the call knows, that's been something that we've been trying to do for about 8 months now, if not a little longer. So just waiting on the Health Hub stuff to really take off so we can get that done. Let's see, other things. We've got the forest budget put together initially that I've given to Salam. He feels it's pretty good. He can comment on that if he wants. What do you think, Salam? We're pretty good on having the farm manager or forest. We decided we're calling it a forest. So it's the forest, medicinal forest. So the medicinal forest will be, it will need a manager and an assistant who can coordinate efforts there regarding the cultivation, the harvesting, and then also the production of any goods that we take from the farm and not necessarily sell at market, but be able to sell in the health hub. So I think Salam, are you still working on that budget, or do you feel that has that one been done? I can't keep track, and Ben and I have been working on something else all morning.
Yes, I think what you've provided me is good enough,
Okay.
and now I am yet to just transpose that into Smiley.
Okay.
On Smiley, I have only prepared the budget for the first health hub,
Okay.
but I will prepare the budget for the forest too as well. I took on the first health hub because I know that has to start very as soon as possible, and also you'll be going off for some days
Yeah.
when you leave Ghana, so I wanted that to get out of the way. But with the forest, I'll prepare the budget as well, and like you recommended, I will either have to go to Bole or Techimai to find out about the cashew seed
Mm-hmm.
and how best we can grow it, and then we can begin working on that alongside the health hub because the rains will be coming, and I think it's the best time to plant a tree or grow this forest will be when the rains are there
Yeah.
because they will need water
Yeah.
to grow very. So I'll work on that as well. But the
Okay.
hub budget is done.
Great. So that's good. And Salam, we haven't had a chance to look over the budget for the project, but we did work on the project. We did a little bit of renaming on the projects just to get them in syncs, and then also worked on the IDs a little bit as try to make them more uniform because this morning Ben and I worked through the entire supply chain of essentially moving this specific box this specific box of gloves from a would-be supplier in Tamale into the Give Basic Needs organization warehouse, and then from that warehouse out to the health hub. And so we worked through all of the item creation that was needed, all of the transactions that were needed, and how they would be created today. And we spent a lot of time on that, and it feels pretty good. We have a lot of work to do. It was a lot of information, just with regards to now we're going to be dealing with purchase orders. We're going to be dealing with a lot of different things, and so in doing so, Smiley makes it easy. But if Smiley's not set up right, I think we can all imagine it will be a nightmare. And so that's our job right now, is to figure out how to set this up before it's all needed. And we'll work together. And so we've been working on that diligently in hopes to be able to start recording inventory and bring those products into the Tamale warehouse and then move them out to the Health Hub 1. And so we also, other thing I wanted to let you know that we did was we cleaned up the Health Hub 2 project. I just felt like it was kind of confusing. And so we deleted the Health Hub 2 project. We can create that when we're ready. Where it's going to be, we don't know. But we cleaned that up. And then the other thing that we did was we needed a place to bill for the Health Hub 1. And so we created Health Hub 1 office. And so this will be a project that doesn't terminate just like our Tamale office. and this will give us something that we can bill against for invoices and documents within Smiley. And we also work through the cost center area to get that nailed down so that we can track cost, not only track inventory in stock, but also track the financial side to show the expenses and incomes that we're going through. So there are little changes there, but nothing that's going to affect you directly right now. Yeah, so we've been working on that. I think with the interest of time, I have one other thing that I'd like to ask Salam, and that's, have you figured out the status of that charger by chance?
So on Friday, he sent one which I told you was 9 volt, but
9 amps.
I think yes, 9 amps, but the voltage was 12 to 14, and then
Right.
we said that wasn't adequate,
Right.
and so because of the weekend, but he said tomorrow Monday he would search
Okay.
for it. What Ben sent, the picture Ben sent, I think he tried reaching them and then he couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But he's
Okay.
going to actually get us the right charger within the week.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And I think Ben is. I've talked to Ben enough about it now. I think that you're obviously more than capable or know what we need.
Yeah.
As far as the charger goes, you're trying to find them, etc. So I think it's just a matter of time. I just wanted to follow up and see if there was some specifications. Again, I think it's still probably a good idea to just run it by the group before we purchase it to make sure that it's one that's going to work, because unfortunately that other one that we thought was going to work won't.
Sure. Yeah.
That's great. So let's see. So we can go around the room. Luke, do you have anything to contribute or comments, concerns?
No, I'm all good.
Okay. Elaina, do you have anything?
Nothing for me?
Okay. Salam, do you have something more?
No.
Okay. Ben?
No, I don't
No,
have anything.
nothing else? Okay. I'm all good too. So I want to thank everybody for a good meeting. And know that tomorrow the President and I will travel to Accra in the evening. And then, we'll be around. So looking forward to continuing to make good progress. We decided that, taking a step back. One of the things I do want to touch on, it. One of the things that we decided was, what we realized is that we were going so hard that we were no longer as happy as we once were working on the project. And that was a sure sign that we needed to take a step back. And so in taking a step back, we're not only I'm personally going to take a step back between May 15th and the 21st and be disconnected. But also taking a step back means don't let the dates drive the projects. Let the project drive the project. And so we are moving away from formally stating when the hub will be done. That's for everybody to know. We don't have a date. We don't care to have a date. We're just working as fast as we can. And that's what makes us happy. And, pushing to a specific date is not healthy in any organization, because either quality or expenses suffer. And we don't have expenses that can suffer, and we ain't going to suffer on quality. And so that means the time changes. So that's what we've decided to do with Salam, with Ben, and the President, myself, all being together, is that there's no commitment on when that hub's going to open, but I can be assured, and you can be assured, the money's set aside, we're going to open it. So I just wanted to let everybody know that that was the case here who might be listening. That's where we are. So just really quick, I'll go around. Luke, do you have any questions or comments on that?
I think that sounds good.
Yeah, because we don't want to burn out, and that's what's going to happen if we push ourselves too hard. We all know that. We all work really hard as it is. We don't need to be pushed. There's some people that need to be pushed, and some people don't. I think pretty much all of us don't. We all work very diligently on getting the tasks at hand done. So, okay, great. How about you, Elaina? Thoughts?
No, sounds good to me. You guys have earned a well-deserved rest.
All right, thank you. And Salam, do you have any comments on that?
No.
Good. Good. And how about you, Ben?
Yeah, I think rest and recalibration is important, so
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, everyone. Well, thanks again for a great meeting. You guys all enjoy the rest of your upcoming week, and we will talk with you soon.
Okay.
Sounds
Bye.
good. Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
Be well.
Bye-bye.